And we're back. Welcome to my third episode here on Florida Man Radio. So excited to be here. You know why? It's Valentine's Day weekend. So right here on Real Sense Now, I just wanted to let you know what our show is all about and what we're here to share with you. We'll be giving you the facts on real estate trends, whether you're a buyer or seller, ways to find some lucrative investments, what to look for when searching for properties or vacation homes. If you're buying a fix or flip, we are here to show you how to get started or to get ahead in real estate and let you know how real estate can really be your cheat code to your success, plus a whole lot more. So we're live every Saturday at 11 a.m. and we have an hour-long show where we cover all things real estate. We're going to be interviewing a bunch of experts and really kind of bringing you into our world and showing you all the tips and tricks that we have that make my profession that I love even greater for you and how we can share that experience together. So Eric, how you doing, my man?
How's it going? You feeling good?
I'm feeling
third
great.
Time? You feeling a little more loose, ready to go?
Come on, man. This is my arena. This is where I like to come and shine. And I came dressed for the occasion as well too. I got
see that
red pocket square, red shirt on.
Ready
Why
for
not?
a Valentine's Day date and everything,
Hey,
huh?
I'm ready. But you know what I've come to realize, Eric, talking about doing the show and getting prepared for it, man, I got a process now. I mean, I've been on the air for a couple of months, and I know it sounds a bit obnoxious, but I actually have a process. And you know what? Every time I'm done with the show, the first thing I immediately do is I get ready for the next one and start formulating all of these ideas. But this week was a little bit different. I found myself procrastinating, trying to figure out what to deliver today. And I got to tell you, I read something and it kind of surprised me. So there's a guy by the name Daniel Pink who says procrastination happens because maybe you're incubating an idea. Maybe you didn't come up with something right away. And really what it comes down to is that procrastination is really an emotional regulation to a problem that has nothing to do with time. Can you believe that? So in other words, if you're struggling with doing something and it's disturbing you so much, rather than confront what's disturbing you, a lot of people end up sabotaging themselves and they end up quasi-rationalizing this whole process. So in my case, is the pain of like writing or producing or creating what next segment we're going to be. And really all I got to do is kind of get out of the way and just create it, really, right? So the question is what is that emotional thing that you're avoiding? And it applies to every aspect of our life, right? And there's something that you can do, which is an action that you can take, which always ends up overcoming or confronting that emotion that you're dealing with. You know, in that we as human beings do this one thing really well, which is this pain-pleasure kind of dynamic that we work with, right?
We have that Pavlov's reaction to things. We love being rewarded.
Exactly, but at the same time, what we also try to do is we avoid the pain of actually doing something in order to extend the pleasure of not having to deal with that pain, right? Okay, great. So guess what? So I realized when I was doing this process that I keep talking about is that I start to sow a seed of thought, right? And I realized that part of my process now has become kind of like leave it to the universe. And then, you know, there's that famous phrase that when the student is ready, the master always appears. Guess what? I know you're listening. I know you know who you are. That master appropriately came in the form of my girlfriend.
Oh.
I know she's going to be really happy to hear this right now. And God knows she's loving every single minute of this right now. So she asked me, so what are you going to talk about this week? So I went off on a long-winded rant. And I started throwing a bunch of ideas at her, and she patiently waited and waited and waited till I was done. And then I was a little bit confused because I kind of looked at her and I was like, she kind of like took everything in, and I'm like looking at the oracle here, waiting for some pearl of wisdom. And I'm like, are you going to say anything? And she goes, yeah, I mean, it's Valentine's Day. Why don't you talk about relationships? And I go, hey, perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
So ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about relationships and the importance of relationships. And I mean, doesn't it even sound better that we're talking about relationships appropriately on Valentine's Day weekend? And what makes it even better, Eric, is now it actually sounds like it's my idea. And I came up with it.
That's the best way, because you already gave her credit. You didn't have to. You could have just kept that idea all to yourself and be like, no, look how smart I am. I came up with relationships on Valentine's Day weekend.
I'm not that smart, but thanks, Pete, for that. So anyways, if you know anything about me, you know that I love people and love connecting with people. I love and I value relationships, from the easy breezy ones to the ones that challenge you the most, because you're always learning from someone. So obviously the difficult ones end up teaching you and help you grow to be an even bigger person and a better person here. And my friends always make fun of me, Eric. They're always like, oh, you have so many friends and everyone's your best friend. And the truth of the matter is, wherever I go in the world, I pretty much have or know someone somewhere. So I'm always connecting people wherever I go. And I'm a connector. That's what I do, man. I like connecting people and I like connecting things. And you know what? The show has actually presented a really great opportunity to present a platform for me to be able to do this. And I didn't realize that you actually learn from a lot of your mentors. And a lot of the times you actually learn things from them. And a lot of times you go, oh, I actually do that. I do that on a regular basis, actually. So I was listening to this clip from Brad Lee. And, one of the things that he says to form habits, which I realized that I did every day, is that in the morning, when I wake up and I start driving out to wherever I'm going to, I usually call or text about 5 to 10 people. And these people usually fall into two categories, just like you mentioned. I make business calls, and then I call my friends and people who I actually really love. And the whole purpose of doing this is just to tell them how I feel about them, or just to kind of find out where we're at. But there's a really big reason why, and I didn't realize why I did that, and why it's important, especially in the day and age we live in today. Today, relationships is the new economy. It's not money. It's relationships. Relationships is the new currency. Because with great relationships, short of doing anything underneath the sun, you can pretty much do it all.
And really is having that connection with the different people, especially I know in your industry it's big, and then the radio industry it's huge, having those relationships and those connections, because you'll find you meet this person, you meet that person, and you want to do a business deal with someone, you've met that person before because of some point along the way you've made that relationship with that person.
Absolutely. And so, guys, it's Valentine's Day weekend. If you don't want to reach out to somebody and tell them you love them, reach out to somebody and tell them that you care about them. Reach out to somebody and connect with them, because that's the currency that we have to work with. And remember, whatever you focus on grows, and whatever you neglect dies. And I remember saying this before, and it's true. Write this down. Remember this if you can. Wherever attention goes, energy flows and results shows. So if it's that thing that you want to do, if you want to create something, if you want to connect with somebody, pick up that phone, reach out to somebody, connect with them. Because I love doing that, and I like to surround myself, and I like to help people around me get the things that they want, reach the goals that they want to achieve. And I take in calls all the time from people all the time, because I like connecting the dots and making things happen for a lot of people. With that being said, if you're just tuning in, I'm going to be talking about all things real estate. I have a guest of mine that's coming on in the next segment, dear friend of mine, Nishad Khan from Nishad Khan Law. He also owns Tycon Title. He's going to be talking to us about all things title, so that you can get to know more about what's going on in that space. And then in addition to that, I also wanted to share with you that if you have any questions, or if you want to reach out and connect with me in particular, you can always reach me on my website, which is realsensenow.com, or you can catch us live on air right now. Feel free to call in or text at 321-339-1055 and connect with us then. So coming back to relationships, we just discussed that relationships are the new currency, and it's the new economy that we work and we live in. And today, more than ever, you could pretty much get close to anybody in the world more than any other time in history. Have you been on that new app, Clubhouse?
I haven't been on Clubhouse, but I've been hearing some good stuff. I think is it in final release? Because I know for a while it was kind of
you had to
know someone that had. You also had to know someone that had it to let.
So you had to get invited on for starters, and I have a bunch of invites, so I'll send one over to you. And then at the same time, what it does is it's essentially like a TED Talks, but on your phone. And what's interesting is it's one of the first times where you can go out and connect with your mentors and your idols and really learn something from them, and actually be in the same room with them and actually communicate with them and ask them questions. I was in a room that had a bunch of millionaires in there talking about real estate. And it was a great way to just connect and send a message over to somebody and say, hey, listen, I got this idea, this project, this book that I want to work on, whatever the case may be. And now more than ever, you can be in close proximity, all of these people. And this is why relationships can really catapult not only your career, your goals, but also connect you with the information that you want to know. And once again, this show is a great platform because we get to bring in all of these experts to come in and answer a lot of the questions a lot of people have about common things that I do on a regular basis, such as real estate. I mean, last week we had Shane on the show talking about mortgages. And I only thought it would be a great process to just kind of like follow people along the whole transactional process and figure out where do we go next.
Yeah, and that's a problem that a lot of people have when it comes to real estate is they don't understand where to go. It's something that's not really taught in school.
Right.
It's just like nobody teaches taxes in school or anything like that. It's kind of one of those life skills they don't teach you anymore is how to go about buying a house. When you ask somebody like, hey, you're a first-time home buyer, how do you go and buy a house? You can't just walk up to someone, oh, the property's there. Okay, here's money. I want this house. That's not how it works anymore. So it is really kind of an interesting to go step by step and say, here's the person you need to talk about this. And then there's another step after that, and this is that person that you need to talk about.
Exactly. And what's more important is when somebody like myself can actually create all the relationships for you, then it becomes a really smooth process to go from A to Z. And by having them here on the show, you guys can actually hear right straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, where you can get to hear all of this great information that's going to be imparted by all of them. And then, you know what? I think you did a bad thing there, Eric. You pulled the rabbit out of the hat, and you kind of like told everybody a little secret about who our third guest is going to be. Because yes, we do have the information from the expert on taxes. We're going to have Indira from Prime Taxes on the last segment. So guys, if you're listening in...
and I didn't give that away. I didn't know that.
Well, you said taxes.
I'm just throwing that out because it is something that nobody ever teaches you in school anymore. It's one of those I've never understood. Okay, you have geometry, you have calculus, but you don't have somebody that tells you, hey, you need to file your taxes every year, and here's how to do it. That's one of those things that once you turn that 18 or 16, that first time you get that paycheck, and the government's like, okay, well, you owe us some money out of it. And
exactly,
you're like,
right?
I don't get that.
You're like, I made $15 an hour.
I don't
get like
it.
this check for $1,000. How come my check is like dwindled down to like a few
the
$100?
first time
right?
you're given that tax form and you're like, okay,
what do I do here?
Do I circle this? Do I write my name on that? I don't have any dependents. I don't understand that. What is a dependent?
And we're going to go through all of that right here. So guys, thank you for checking in. You're going to tune in every Saturday. Eric, thanks to you. I think we're going to turn this show and call it the University of Dawood, where we cover all things real estate and taxes and title and so on and so forth. So if you have a question, call 321-339-1055. You can catch us on FlorimanRadio.com. Download the app. Stay tuned. The next segment is going to be one you're not going to want to miss.